Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Savant Video. I'm your host, James Harris. This episode, we're going to be doing a non-spoiler review of Jessica Jones Season 2 on Netflix as a part of the Marvel Netflix series and universe of shows. I just have to start off by saying this is a really good season. If you were a fan of Season 1 or you had a chance to check out Season 1 on Netflix a few years back, it was a very, very controversial show because it dealt with females being abused and PTSD, and it was very much a groundbreaking show in its time. And following suit with the second season, we're looking at the repercussions of those events and how it can take a toll on a person, and how does an individual climb out of all that darkness and sorrow and start to rebuild themselves socially, emotionally. And you have the outer crux of she has superpowers. Krysten Ritter returns in the lead role as Jessica Jones. I feel like she is really entrenched in the character, and she's laid claim to that role of Jessica Jones at this point. I was a little shaky on her as Jessica Jones going into the first season, but she's really made it her own in the time since. We've not just seen her in Jessica Jones Season 1, we've seen her show up in Luke Cage as well as The Defenders, and she's really, like I said, grabbed a hold and took ownership of that role, and it continues here, as well as the supporting cast that all do a really great job stepping up their characters and involving them where we saw them. The character of Malcolm, the character of Patsy Walker, we all see Joe Hogarth, we see all the supporting cast really step their game up as well and transcend going into this second season, seeing them really evolve and becoming full-dimensional characters in this world surrounding Jessica. Some people online have gone in dogging the show based on the main villain of the show and how certain things were handled in it. I rather enjoyed the pacing of the show, what they did with the villain, because it was something we haven't seen. Most of the Netflix series kind of follow a certain cadence in their storytelling, and the producers behind Jessica Jones and the showrunner decided to go in a slightly different direction, a little bit more psychological, way more emotional, because in relation to the villain, it ties directly into our main hero in a very personal and close-knit way, and affects her in a way that makes her straddle the line between being a hero and potentially being a villain. For that type of storytelling, to me, it's unparalleled. I really like the turn, and I like that it was something different, because normally with the Netflix series, you can know the cadence as soon as the first couple of episodes of the season kicks in, and you can guess pretty early where it's kind of trending as the season goes on. Here, it kept me engaged. It kept me on the edge of my seat, seeing what twists and turns were going to happen next, which I appreciate for a TV show. We have 13 episodes, 13-hour-long episodes. For me, I took out Jessica Jones Season 2 in about 2 sittings. The first season was a little bit harder because it was so dark and heavy, but it was still very enthralling and captivating to watch. But I needed breaks in between there. Here, it kept me engaged, and it flowed in a manner that it kept me wanting to see more till I got to the end. And I could see myself rewatching this season more so than I would ever rewatch Season 1, because it was just so heavy and so dark and very dense. Like you had to take breaks to kind of regain yourself, because they went some dark places. Here, it's a little bit more lighter, not as dark as a story, so it's easier to get through. You see Jessica evolving and coming out of that darkness, so it's just lighter as a viewer watching it. It's not so bound you up so heavily, which I really, really appreciate. And again, it shows evolution in the character, which I'm all about, character building and world building, which I felt like they did in spades in this second season of Jessica Jones. So I would have to give it the highest recommendation. I even scored this higher than I scored the first season of Jessica Jones. So I would give it, I would probably give this an 8.5 or 9 out of 10, where the first season of Jessica Jones was about an 8. So they definitely made improvements in the show. Another great thing you have to look at when you're looking at this show with the political climate in the entertainment world, especially with the Me Too movement and everything that's going on. It's great to see we have a female showrunner, female writers behind the scenes, and all 13 episodes were directed by female directors, and it's great to see that inclusion in front of and behind the camera with this series. So I feel like it's very groundbreaking in that way, and they continue to tread ground, because this was the first, though Wonder Woman got all the press because it was the first motion picture, but Jessica Jones was our first depiction in this modern age of comic book movies and television shows where we got a real female protagonist in the forefront in a show, because you can't classify it as a movie. We have Supergirl and things like that, but just far as an adult series, because this is clearly an adult series, if you've seen season 1, that was really in the forefront, that I feel like helped pave the way for Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel and all those things that will be coming down the pike. So again, I can't highly recommend this show enough. Hope you guys take a moment to check it out. That's all I have for you guys for this episode. If you're unfamiliar with with me, I'm a podcaster. You can check out the podcast. It is Comic Book Savant. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on the website. It's actually a playlist listed below that will have about the last 30 or 40 episodes of my podcast that I re-release as a playlist on the YouTube channel, as well as I have tons of other videos to check out. So if you like what you're watching here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also click the bell notification down at the bottom so you can be alerted when the next new episode of Comic Book Savant video will hit your YouTube feed. So that's all I have for you at this time. You take care and have a good week. And check that Jessica Jones out. I think you'll really enjoy it. Take care. See you soon.